everyone. Welcome back. So hopefully we'll get some people to be on the broadcast live, but if not, welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, you can catch me here on my YouTube channel every Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you like this channel, make sure you subscribe, come back, check out all the other playlists that I have here on my channel. Check out the old periscopes and things of that nature. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a great Friday morning thus far. And what's good with you? What's good with you? Right. So listen, it's been 7 days, and got a few updates, and then I have something I want to share with you on today. So listen, it's fall, right? And you know, here in Virginia, we have all four seasons. Summer's my favorite. Yes, I am a complainer. I like the summer, and so when it starts to get cold, I get a little in my feelings a little bit, right? But nevertheless, I adapt. I change and go with the program, right? I've been here for, I don't know, over 20 something, 30 years, right? So, how do you feel about the season fall? What are some of your favorite fall traditions or things that you do during this season? So, a couple of things that help me stay excited a little bit when it gets warm outside, when it gets a little bit cooler outside, is shopping. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm not a shopaholic by any way, shape, or form. However, it's encouraging, right? But real talk, when we talk about seasons changing, change happens in so many ways, right? And as I said last week, the end of this month kind of it's the end of another quarter, and we're heading into the end of the year, right? So lots of changes, not only in the seasons, but in preparation for a new year, in preparation for the holidays and all those things. And so I usually like assess every season my wardrobe so that I don't necessarily have too many things I'm not wearing, create a lot of clutter and things of that nature. And so it also helps motivate me, right? So for this season, I was just thinking about some things that I need for the fall. And do you? I just want to hear in the comments. Is that something that you do? Do you sort of check your wardrobe and see what things you've been wearing or don't wear, and get rid of them, or give to donate somewhere? What do you do with your things, right? Or do you just go from season to season? Just curious. There's no right or wrong, right? So I definitely know that this year, couple things. I definitely need a new coat, right? And we don't need heavy coats here in Virginia, but I do need a lighter mid-range coat. So I'll be shopping for that. Sweaters, and definitely need some brown boots. I have some black boots. I have plenty of black boots, but some brown boots. So I'd love to hear some of your favorite places that you like to shop, especially if you're a mature woman, not in your 20s, but what's your favorite places that you like to shop? Is it online? Do you like going into the stores? Now, I personally, I do a little bit of both. I like online shopping. I have some places that I know my size. I can order online, and it's fine. And then I also like to go out into the stores a little bit and see what's happening as well. So I do a little bit of both. Um, so I know last week I talked to you guys about going to see my daughter who's in college, and I had an opportunity 2 nights ago to drive down to North Carolina and visit with her for about 3 hours. So I took her out to dinner, and she's doing amazing. She is adjusting amazing. And I was sitting across from her in the restaurant and thinking, who is this human being? Did I raise this human being over here? Right? I'm so proud of her. She's adjusting very, very well. She's happy. So if you're following me on Instagram, which you should if you're not, at divorce underscore coach 7, at divorce underscore coach 7. I've posted some pictures and in my stories. You can definitely check over on Instagram when I had a visit with her 2 nights ago. Hey, Francesca, great to see you. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. So yes, yes, yes. So that's been good. The shopping's been good. And I was asking about traditions. So I don't know, do you have any fall traditions? Well, here in the DMV area in Virginia, one of the things that's pretty popular, especially now that COVID has kind of, moved out, moved aside, if you will. even though it's still present, right? But moved aside. And a lot of traditional festivals and fairs and things of that nature have come back, right? And so one of the places that I like to go here in the fall is called the Folk Festival. And they usually have like outside bands and just that kind of fairy, feel of food and food trucks and music and games and really nice for fall. I think they generally come around in October, so I'll be forward to that. And then lastly, for me, one of the things I have been wanting to do for many years, and every year I say, so here in Virginia, we have the mountains, we have Charlottesville, and there's a lot of farms and places of that nature that have, places you can go pick apples, and they hold fall festivals up in the mountains. And so I really want to do that this fall. I'm not going to pick a whole lot of apples because I'm not, because this is not, it's not really cold. It's not cold, but it's cold to me. Right? It's cold to me, but we will make it through. We will definitely make it through. So before I forget, let me just share with you. This is Tea Time with Andrea, right? Tea Time with Coach. So listen, I actually made a video of the unboxing of this beautiful cup, but I never posted it. So, I'll post it later. But isn't this beautiful? This is a tea cup. And if you can see, look how, I love purple, first of all. Look how royal this looks. I ordered it from Amazon. I will link the link from Amazon down below. And I am drinking, this is ginger peach turmeric tea. So it's kind of like an herbal tea. Tastes really, really good. Turmeric has a lot of benefits. You can look them up on your own time, right? But they have a lot of health benefits as well. So this is the tea we're drinking today. This is the beautiful mug that I've picked up, and teacup if you want to be fancy, right? But and look at this. So if you're really into, cups and mugs, which I have a ton, and as I said last week, I'm transitioning over in the past year from coffee to tea. So I have lots and lots of coffee mugs and things of that nature. And thank you, Francesca. But we're transitioning a little bit, and this is absolutely beautiful. So I wanted to share it with you guys. For all my tea drinkers. Now, you can bring your coffee to Tea Time with Coach as well. So listen, I do have some notes here. I want to make sure I don't forget anything. I talked about fall wardrobe and all those things, but here's what one of the things I want to focus on today is really about change and how important your environment is in this season. Right? Since we're talking about seasons and we're talking about change, and a lot of my audience is divorced women or single women, it's a great time to assess, right? And we have to recognize how important our environments really are to our life. And they just really, really are. And so I want to talk a little bit about the different type of environments, right? Because sometimes we think environment is just our physical environment. And physical environment is one where we physically stay, right? The surroundings that we have, like I'm in my office, right? What my office looks like, maybe what my bedroom looks like, or my home. And we talk about clutter or clearing out some things, as I mentioned earlier with clothes. It's really, really important. And if you think about it, it's interesting because I just had a conversation with Mr. P, my boo. We were just talking about, and I said, when we're talking about environment, and I was just saying, you think about it when you go on vacation, and when you're in a resort or you're in a hotel, and everything is just, there's no clutter, everything is clear. You feel peaceful, don't you? It gives your mind, your space, your mentality, your emotions a different, a more positive and light feeling. I hope that makes sense to you, right? So when we're talking about physical environments, this is a great time to assess your office at work, your bedroom, the place that you sleep. A lot of times I read a lot, so I don't know where I read it, but over the years, I remember reading somewhere that it was just saying if you really have a difficulty sleeping, that you may want to check your environment in your room. Do you have a lot of clutter? Do you have a lot of clothes and things of that nature? Because sometimes that can subconsciously impact us in the way that we sleep. What does it smell like, right? What does your home smell like? What does your office smell like? What does your car smell like? All these things impact us, impact our thoughts, impact our emotions. And so when we're thinking about change, I wanted to talk to you about not just the physical, but the spiritual, and then also the intellectual on today. So let's pause right there for a moment, because just as I'm talking about scents and things of that nature, I love having candles burning in my home. I don't know about you, but one of the challenges I've had over the years, and I always keep coming back to the same place, is I'll see candles, I'll be, traveling or whatever, and they smell really great. And I get them at home and you burn them and you cannot really smell the scent, or you can only smell it if you're right up on it, right? And that's one thing I'll say about a couple of brands, not sponsored, right? Yankee Candle has always been good, even though I haven't purchased a Yankee Candle. No, I did. I have a small one I bought maybe about 2, 3 weeks ago in my bedroom. But Yankee Candle, and then also Bath and Body Works, right? So last week, earlier this week, I bought some candles from a girl. So when I went to see her in college, I brought her a couple of candles from Bath and Body Works, and then I also purchased one for myself. So let me just share with you what I'm loving right now. This is Sunrise Woods, and this is, let me say what it does. It, trying to see if it explains what it is. It doesn't here, but it has a sort of a vanilla. That's a new word. Let's put in a dictionary. A vanilla scent, a little lavender, and then almost like a peachy scent, if you will. So it's not your typical fall scent. It's decorated like spring, but I love it. It's sort of a sweet smelling um candle as well. But I love this. I love this fragrance. It's Sunrise Woods from Bath and Body Works. And then I also picked up another one, and I don't have it in here. Um, Another fall scent, right? And they had several, and I don't remember the title, the actual title, the one that I purchased, but it has that apple cinnamon smell. And I did purchase one of those too. But they have several, pumpkin, fall leaves, a ton of different scents. And so even what you smell, right, in your environment, because that's what we're talking about, can impact how you're feeling, can impact your moods. And so I really want you to think about that, where you are in this space as we're kind of transitioning seasons and we're just sort of assessing ourselves. That's something I do on a regular basis. On a personal level, on a business level, in my relationships with my children, my friends, my romantic relationship. I'm always assessing and seeing how can I grow and change. And one of the things that's important for us as divorced women, right? Because unless you've already, remarried, I'm not remarried, I am in a relationship, but we still have that last, what we call a real relationship as a reference. And so sometimes our behaviors or the things that we do, can't, the negative things that we do that aren't positive for us, can stem from that old relationship, right? And so it's really good to always check in with ourselves, check in what we're doing, check in how we're behaving, how are our friendships, relationships, right? Self-assessment is one of the biggest uh, tools, if you will, for growth and for change in your life. And so that's, we're talking about physical environment. The second thing is your spiritual environment, right? Your spiritual environment. Who can you talk to from a spiritual perspective? Whether it's at church, as a small groups, a friend that you can have those spiritual conversations with, right? Yes, you may listen to maybe sermons online or go to church on Sunday and Wednesday. But even outside those environments, how are you stimulating your spiritual growth? Right? Are you able to be in places with people who have the same language, if you will, as you in that area? Right? And so it's just so important that we're checking our environments, as I already said, our physical environment, our spiritual environment. And then do you have someone that if you need prayer, you can call and they pray with you? Someone bless me this week. When I say bless me, I mean bless me with a phenomenal prayer that I was not expecting. And so sometimes we have to recognize that we have to be strategic about positioning ourselves in environments that are going to help us grow, heal from the past, right? Because if you're constantly in environments that is constantly reminding you of who you used to be, what you have encountered, what you went through, then it's going to be very difficult for you to move forward. Yes, we are aware of what we've gone through, whether that be a divorce, whether it be a life challenge that you had as a child with your parents, or someone who mishandled you, or someone who betrayed you or mistreated you, that's in the past. But if you're around people who are always bringing up your past, then how can you begin to fix your face as flint, as the word says, and move forward, right? Live in the present, but also keep your eyes focused on what is to come. So you have to be mindful of who you are positioning yourself around, the type of conversations that you're having, and where are you drawing your encouragement from, right? And so if you are a person who serves a lot in any capacity, you need to make sure that you have someone who is able to pour into you in order for you to pour out. That's one of the challenges that motherhood brings for many women as well, right? Because being a mother, right? Pouring out, especially to young kids, and figuring it all out, schedules, lunches, activities, sports, school, homework, all of those things, teaching your kids, having your lectures right about manners and conduct and all of those things. You're always pouring out, but are you positioning yourself to be in environments where you're being poured into, right? That is very, very important. You have to feed your spirit and you have to feed your emotions in a positive way, right? And then lastly, what I want to talk about today is intellectual environment. We don't talk about that enough. A lot of times we look at intellectualism, right, as just degrees and formal schooling and formal education, and it's not. There's a couple areas I want to, touch on here. Stimulating conversation that makes you think, conversation that opens your mind up to other ideologies, other cultures, other thought processes. And it doesn't mean that you have to adapt that. It just allows you to just hear what else is out here, right? So that we're just not stuck in our own little box, right? So whether it has to do with actual, morals and values standpoints, or learning new skills, right? Challenging ourselves to do something different, reading more books, taking more courses, trying a new sport, trying a new hobby, whatever that is, keeping ourselves stimulated. This is all important to growth and to change, right? Because remember, we're talking about seasons of change in our environments. So, are you positioning yourself in environments to stimulate you intellectually? And intellectually in the ways that I just named, not just formal education, right? But are you always in the same environment, talking to the same people about the same things over and over again, and then wondering why your life is the same? Your conversations are the same. Your emotions, how you're feeling, are the same, right? And change takes effort. It takes us getting out of our comfort zone, right? And so I know with my personality, and we all have different personalities, and I like to be challenged in a lot of different ways. So I'm always challenging myself to do things. Now, that doesn't mean I'm great by any way, shape, or form. It just means that's an area that I like. But there's other areas where I need to have change that are not stimulating to me, and I have to force myself, because as an introvert, I really could be fine just staying at home all day, every day, and not talking to anyone. Literally, right? Honestly, and it's kind of a joke with people who really know me. I am an introvert. But I also understand that the life that I want to live and the growth that I want to have in my personal and business life, that's not how I have to live. So I have to push beyond my comfort zone in those ways, if that makes sense to you. So I'm challenging you today to think about your environment, right? Think about what's around you, right? And I know that, I have a variety of people who watch or follow me on social media. My primary audience is separated and divorced women, but anyone can think about this in this particular season. We have the holidays approaching us. And even as, and I talk about this all the time, as separate and divorced women, you may have had traditions that you did for decades with your family, decades with your ex, decade with your kids. Maybe your kids are getting older or you're changing, but it's okay to change traditions. It's okay to shift, right? If you're not happy the way you were doing things for 5 or 10 years, or even last year, maybe you don't even want to cook anymore, maybe you don't want to buy presents anymore, maybe you don't want to do whatever anymore, right? Or you may want to take some of that on in a different way, right? Make that change. Challenge yourself to do something different, right? That's what keeps life exciting. That's what where the happiness comes from inside. Oftentimes we're looking for happiness and fulfillment on the outside, but it really comes from the inside. And what happens, it's almost like a domino effect. So when you're happy inside, it doesn't mean that everything has to be perfect in your life. That's not going to happen, right? Because we actually live in this life. But it doesn't mean because we don't have outside challenges that we can't be happy and content and at peace within. And so when you have that within, it shows without, right? And so you attract more of that into your life. But if you have an internal view, if you will, of negativity, of staying in that comfort zone, of not stretching yourself, then what happens is we attract more of that comfortability in our life. People who aren't doing things differently, people who have the same type of conversation, people who are not challenging us to be better, or encouraging us, to try something different that we're talking about, right? So change is a beautiful thing, and we can't get discouraged in this season. Right? So just think about your environment on today. How can you make your environment better? And listen, don't try and do it all at once. Just start with one area. Just start with one area in this season. What do you need to change? Is it your physical environment? Do you need more spiritual spaces to be in? Right? Or do you need more more of an intellectual environment? Right. And again, remember, I don't mean formal education, just opening your mind, different conversations. Even book clubs are a great way to be a part of a different dialogue. Right. By the way, if you're looking for a book club, we have one on Facebook. It's called Diva Dialogues, a book discussion community. Go on over there and join. Right. If you're looking for that type of stimulation, but do something different. Right. As you're heading out of this year, put yourself at the top of that list for real, right? And recognize how worthy you are of having the desires of your heart. You deserve what you desire. God said he will give you your desires of your heart. We have to seek him first, right? But he'll give us those desires, right? But it's not going to fall in our lap. I say that all the time. There is a level of action that we have to take. We have to do something different. And what I love about God is, when we do one thing, he'll show us the next. We do something else, he'll show us the next, and so forth and so on. Right? So I just wanted to pop in today, as I'm going to be popping in every Friday with Tea Time with me, Coach Andrea. Listen, never know what you're going to get over here. Check out the replays. And if you have suggestions, please drop them in the comment section. Or if you have a divorce or relationship question, you can send your question to askdivorcecoach@gmail.com, askdivorcecoach@gmail.com. And I'll either come on maybe on Tea Time with Tea Time with Coach on Fridays, or I'll just post a separate video here on YouTube. But I will email you back and let you know where you can find that answer, if you will, to your question. So instead of, just typing you back in the email, I'll do a video. And then, because a lot of times people have the same question that you have, right? So I can reach more people and help more people if I do a video that goes out on the social media platforms. Okay. So yeah, send your questions to askdivorcecoach at gmail.com, and I'd love to answer it for you. Okay. And yeah, so make sure you come back next Friday and stay encouraged on this journey. Listen, as I said earlier in the video, listen, it was like 50 degrees out this morning. So for me, I'm just like, here we go. Okay. But I am working hard, because it doesn't come natural the cool weather, working hard to stay motivated and to stay positive in whatever way I can. And so shopping is going to help me a little bit. I do have some things that I want to purchase. I need to shift my wardrobe, some things I need to get rid of and all that good stuff. And so I'm going to help that, kind of help me segue, if you will, into fall, right? We all have coping mechanisms, if you will. And I'm just using a little light humor there. So have a wonderful and blessed day. I will see you next week. Listen, if you're a separated or divorced woman looking for an encouraging safe space, we have an online community, Divorced Women Unite. Make sure you go to divorcedwomenunite.com. You can also check out my website where you can find out more about me, the books that I've written, the resources that I provide at AndreaMStuckey.com. AndreaMStuckey.com. So again, I am AndreaMStuckey.com, the divorce liberator and your favorite divorce coach, founder of all those amazing things. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.